Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over our basically what we run for turkey decoys. I don't know if you want to call it a review or whatever you want to call it, but these are our turkey hunting decoy setups that we have and have been using the past couple years. We have some new ones, some old ones, and everything in between. And just kind of go run through and show you what we use, what we've found that's worked. And I'll start off by showing you, apparently this is our only hen decoy that we just realized we have. We had a pretty girl, it's pretty much pretty girl that like is a lay down hen and it can sit up, but apparently that one we might have sold. But this is our nicest hen decoy right here. This is, I think, H&S's something hen, but you know, it's pretty normal looking hen, you know, brown. But we like to have one hen decoy is typically what we like to run. And we always like to have at least one nice looking hen, a little bit more expensive hen. Normally decoys you can get you can get the cheaper ones for like 20 or 30 bucks probably. But of course the nicer decoys are more like in your 60 buck range, and then your really expensive decoys can be up in the hundreds. But this is our hen decoy. We always usually run her, just have her out feeding in the field with us, and then she comes with this stake where she just sits on this thing, and there's this little rubber thing here, and it just holds her up like that, and then she can just spin around the whole time. So we like decoys like that can spin like that, more lifelike in the wind. But that's our hen decoy. So first decoy down. We don't really have too many, luckily. So that one. Then here's our first male bird. So that's our only hen decoy right now. We are planning on getting another one before season, probably like tomorrow. But this is the funky chicken. This thing has been out for a long time, actually. It's Flexstone's funky chicken. It's basically, they call it funky because obviously it hardly looks like a full turkey, but it's basically just a Jake decoy. But it's just really small, so it's actually really nice because it packs well. Like, it doesn't take up much room in your vest, and then it just looks like a really immature bird. So you know, it's supposed to, any Jake decoys like this are just supposed to look immature and have a tom come and attack them. But we've had a lot of success with this decoy, like putting this out there. Had birds come up to it, and yeah, it's a good one to have. It's not that expensive of a decoy. I think you can get this for like 30-something bucks. So really nice, cheap decoys. Like I said, it's really small. You can bend over the head and stuff. We usually just leave it like this. And then it comes with this stake where you just interlock them. This is how a lot of decoys are, and then there you go. And then this just sticks in the ground, and it's one of those smaller stakes, so it sticks in the ground easier. But there's our funky chicken. So like the funky chicken, usually we'll bring it and just stick it in our setup if we're just running done and quick kind of thing. And then I'm going to show you our biggest strutter decoy. And here is Pretty Boy. This is Primos's Pretty Boy. I don't know if they still make him, but we got this decoy a long time ago, and this is a really big strutter decoy. So he comes with two heads. So as you can see here, here's his full strut head, and then we have his like looking up head. So this just pops out. Get it out for you. Pop it right out. Pop this guy in, and now he's just kind of like half strut or looking out. And the cool thing about this decoy is it comes with a fake fan. I can show you kind of like, this is what it looks like when you get it. You get like a fake fan like this, and you just kind of stick it right in the decoy there. But what we've done is we bought this little feather thing where you can basically, instead of like cutting off a fan, which I'm going to update a new one for this, but as you can see, this one's been through the ringer. We bought this little doohickey here where you can actually stick your tail feathers in there, and you just slide this in for more realism. And there you go. And then you got like a real turkey fan as your fan. But the cool thing about this decoy is it comes with this extra stake where you can basically, these heads have a hole in them, so it sits on the stake, and it looks like this was I don't know how well, this concept we ran with it, but basically you can stick this stake in the ground, and then when the birds look at it, I'll show you here what it would kind of look like. It's kind of hard to show. Basically, it kind of looks like two toms together. It looks like two birds. I don't know if that's honestly that beneficial in the woods, because it just looks like two birds there for fighting. So I don't know if that really fires a bird up or scares them off. But that was kind of a neat concept just to switch it up on them. But yeah, so that's the Pretty Boy. Gives you a bunch of different options. So if you find this decoy, you have a bunch of options. And then also, as you can tell here, we actually drilled through this decoy and added real wings to it. So we took wings off another bird. We always take off a bunch of stuff off our birds. And there you go. There's his wings for this one. So you can kind of make your decoys your own, especially these strutter decoys. So, you know, we could give them even more lifelike look, but have had really good success with this. Had a bunch of birds come in on it. Like having a strutter decoy. I know a lot of people are getting towards the Jake decoys now, but you know, it's always good to, we have a lot of big birds in a lot of our places. So big strutter decoy doesn't scare them off and actually brings them in. Okay, so also one thing I wanted to note as I'm going through these other birds are also the strutter decoy. We also, you can always buy different stakes for them, which is a cool thing. And one thing we like is we bought this, basically this extra stake here, and it's got this rope on it, basically where you can put any decoy on this and move it up and down, and you can actually spin your decoy around. And it gives it a lot more lifelike look, and has worked great for us. My biggest bird to date, I spun this decoy at our hen, and it triggered that bird, and he came right on into the decoy set. So, you know, you can always, a lot of decoys don't come with this kind of thing, but you can look online for these. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest, but you can just put like decoy spinner and it'll probably just pop right up. And this is an awesome thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt to set up in the morning when you gotta like walk all the way to your blind or wherever you're sitting 25 yards away, but awesome little gadget just to bring in the birds even more. All right, so I only have 2 decoys left. I'm gonna start with our newest one, and this is probably the most expensive one. I mean, it is the most expensive one we have. I know this is really expensive, and a lot of people probably would just be like, it's not worth it. But I had heard a lot about this decoy. This is the Avian X Jake decoy, half strut. And look, I mean, just look at the lifelike look on this bird. It's got the, whatever they call this, the feathered back, like when you see them. I mean, it looks dead up exactly like when they are half strutting, showing them off. But the flocked, I think they call it flocked, the flocked back. But basically we bought this decoy right at the end of last turkey season. Didn't really get to use it much. But my one buddy was swearing by this decoy, saying birds just coming and beating it up. And if you watch any of the jury videos, this is exactly what they have. And it's really cool because it keeps your stake in right here, and then you just go right here with it, and boom, there you go, you got your Jake. And so the cool thing is that basically it's very packable. And then the other cool thing about this decoy is it actually comes with another head. So it comes with like a half strut, like looking head, and then it's like more strutting looking head. But I mean, they're so lifelike. Look at this. It's just such great detail, and that's what you get when you pay for the extra decoy. I mean, you can tell how much better it looks, but it looks so real. And so we basically bought this decoy last year. It also comes with its own bag to haul it with, but we haven't had any success with it yet. But really excited to put this out next weekend. Definitely gonna run this and run this in the hen probably or whatever, and just see what happens. But really thrilled by the way this looks. It definitely, you know, you can definitely tell the difference. And I mean, if you're serious turkey hunters like us, you know, sometimes it's maybe worth the money to drop it on these decoys. I mean, you never get rid of this decoy as long as you don't shoot it up. So, but yeah, there's the Avian X. Obviously, very, very nice decoy, very high end. Looking forward to using that. And then basically, I saved my favorite decoy by far that we bought and didn't use really for a while. And then basically the past 3 years, the past 3 birds we've killed have all come in because of this decoy. And it is the Mojo Scoot and Shoot. So if you guys watch my video on this, I have a video on this about a year or 2 back reviewing this decoy after we killed 2 birds with it. But this is an amazing thing if you hunt private land. And as you can tell, I actually just got done adding my real fan to this decoy. It comes with this fake one. And the fake one's awesome. That's what we've been running with the past like 3 years. I mean, it looks good. And actually, it's probably holds up better in the weather and just slides in the back. But yeah, it just slides like right here in the back. and it comes with this like mounting system. So basically I got we always keep our fans from our birds, kept it, epoxied this, and then which I'll do a video on soon, and basically made our own real life like decoy for fanning birds. But this is for reaping birds, or whatever you want to call it, fanning, reaping. Everybody calls it something different, but basically what we found is this decoy is awesome because you can have it in your set, like where you're sitting, and fan at birds and then make it look like a realistic strutter coming in. So we found this really works really well when birds have hens. Actually, it seems to only work when they have hens. If they're by themselves, sometimes it'll work, but it seems like sometimes it's a 50-50 shot if they don't have a hen, because they'll just spook. We've spooked a bunch of birds when we've thrown this up and they just run over the hill if they're by themselves. But if they've had hens, we've been able to pull them off the hens and have them come right in. If you watched my video from last year, go check it out. We called in 2 toms that had hens, 5 or 6 hens with them, called them in from 200 yards away, and they came running right in and dropped them at 20 yards. And then if you watch 2 videos, like last year's video, Dad's hunt, they had like 8 or 9 hens, and they were literally working off. We've been hunting these birds for 3 days straight. But then when they worked off, I asked Dad, threw this up, fanned it at them, and sure enough, they came in. So definitely, we really like this decoy, and we pretty much never leave home without it. We usually are hunting private land for turkeys, so if you're hunting private land and you know you're not going to get shot by fanning stuff at the birds, I highly recommend getting this decoy. This decoy is not that expensive either. I think it's like 60. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not really expensive. Maybe like 60 bucks, 70 bucks, but it's awesome. It has this really nice handle, this big stake. So if you do reap birds, you can put the stake in and stick it in the ground and then just get your gun ready. And that's what I did on my Jake that I killed. It was like the perfect stereotypical turkey reaping. Came right over the hill and just decked them. I couldn't stand it. So it's a really fun way to hunt. If you do it, you're hooked for life for sure. So now we got this nice new fan, and really excited. If you think I'm not having this in this blind with me, you're nuts. This coming weekend with the opening of Kentucky. But that's our last decoy. But that's one we highly recommend if you get into it. It's a game changer. It's like it's just like another tool to have. Like, we just keep it with us. Sometimes we don't need to use it, but always bring it with us just in case. But that's all of our decoys. So those are the ones we have. We are getting another hen. Like I said, actually Dad's just buying it right now apparently. And so we'll be set, but we're going to be running the new Avian Jake, that nice hen, and probably this is probably the 3 we'll definitely bring out. Opening weekend of Kentucky, Dad will come film me. And I mean, we're almost there. We're like almost less than a week away. So very excited to get out. But, you know, let me know if you guys have any questions on these decoys or any thoughts on like what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. And yeah, we're almost there, man. We are jacked up and really excited. So please like and subscribe to this channel, Please like this video if you liked it, and hit that little ringer button if you are subscribed, if you want to know when my videos come up. And we'll catch you soon. Turkey season's right around the corner.